What is your personal perspective on death? What are your constructed beliefs about death? Do you see death as a dreadful event? What is death? Hello learners, welcome to MAGKAT-ON Corner. In this video, our lesson is about human person as oriented towards impending death. First of all, let us learn about the definition of the word impending. Cambridge Dictionary defines it as used to refer to an event, usually something unpleasant or unwanted, that is going to happen soon. Its synonym is imminent, which means about to happen or about to occur. Let us be clear, therefore, that the purpose of this lesson is to help every human person to realize that in our life there is really an impending death, and that's something that we need to be oriented with. In philosophy, it is said that the human person is temporal. It literally means limited by time. Hence, not eternal, not infinite, not everlasting. With this, death is defined as the end of a long beginning of human life, where a person has a beginning as well as an end, and that the life event has its final direction or destination, death. Indeed, every human person avoids and abhors death. Death is a state where humanity has no certain answer what would be the real situation after losing this physical and material reality. After all, everything turns into nothing when death comes. That is, all material possessions lose their values. So, what are the different philosophical perspectives on death? Number 1, according to Martin Heidegger, death is already in the past, but not yet in the future. It is the already and the not yet in human existence, thus it is an impending possibility and an inevitable reality. This goes to say that death is imminent in the nature of the human person. Its imminence, possibility, probability, and inevitability are recognizable beyond reasonable doubt. Number 2, according to Ludwig Wittgenstein, death is a phenomenon that is outside of human experience. The essence of Wittgenstein's belief is that we do not live to experience death. A person cannot hope to achieve immortality, but he or she can achieve a certain degree of timelessness if he or she learns to live in the present. Number 3, according to Karl Jaspers, death is the most significant limit situation. One should have the capacity to alter his or her perspectives and ideas to be able to live with the fact that he or she is destined to die. The acceptance of death will lead a person to live an authentic life without postponement or self-deception. This will give rise to positive values and emotions such as courage, serenity, patience, dignity, and of course, acceptance. Number 4, according to Socrates, death is either of the two possibilities. First possibility, death is a dreamless sleep. It is nice, not scary, and it is the rest. Second possibility, death is a passage to another life or the afterlife. and it is the chance to hang out with the loved ones who died. But either way, first or second possibility, death is nothing to fear. Number 5, according to Epicurus, death is a cessation or stopping of sensation. Epicurus rejected the philosophy of Socrates that death is a passage to afterlife. To him, when there is still life after death, a dead person should still be troubled by bodily things like hunger, thirst, and personal necessities. And if this would be the case, therefore, it would mean that a dead person still has a sensation. How would it be possible? Epicurus firmly held that there is no life after death. His big question was, if there is life after death, do the dead still have feelings or sensations? What is your opinion to his question? Do you share the same sense of wonder? Or maybe Epicurus may just not have understood the concept of an afterlife. What then is an afterlife? The dualist perspective believes that the mind or spirit, being incorporeal or immaterial or having no form or substance, persists after the body's demise. Therefore, the complete annihilation or destruction or devastation of the physical body does not mean that the person no longer exists because his spirit endures after death. And the continued existence of the spirit doesn't need to be disturbed by bodily things or physical needs like hunger, thirst, and personal necessities. However, there is also another view as an opposite to afterlife, that is, eternal oblivion. It is a belief that death totally extinguishes the consciousness of the person. This perspective denies the existence of a non-corporeal, immortal aspect of man because it considers death as the end of a person's existence, that is, eternal oblivion. Across cultures, death is also viewed differently. Number 1, for Christians, death is about returning to dust, the physical body, and returning to God the Creator, the human soul. This Christian perspective is based on the following Bible verses. Number 1, from Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7, it says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it." And from Genesis chapter 3, verse 19, which says, "In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it were you taken, for dust you are." To return to God is to be united with Him. Death is but a part of God's plan, and the Bible speaks of inevitability of death as being bound with the promise of salvation. The Christian belief on the promise of salvation is based on the following Bible verses. Number 1 is from Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27, and it says, "And as it is appointed to men once to die, but after this, the judgment." And from John chapter 11, verses 25 to 26, it says, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die." The belief in eternal life and salvation transcends human wisdom and rationality. What lies beyond death is salvation and eternal happiness with our Maker. Number 2, for Chinese, Their philosophy towards death is something inevitable. So why would anyone fear the inevitable? Death was always known to happen because it's part of the life cycle. Accepting death as part of the life cycle is not bad. Fearing for death is being silly or foolish or lacking with common sense. Number 3, for Islam, death is about safekeeping of the spirit in a place called Barzakh. Their belief is that the angel of death, or Israel, comes to take the spirit out of the body and puts it in a place called the Barzakh. Barzakh denotes a place separating the living from the hereafter, or a phase or a stage between an individual's death and their resurrection in the hereafter, or the afterlife. Other communities and societies also assign a great significance to death, as evidenced by various celebrations and commemorations across cultures, such as All Souls Day, the Chinese Ghost Festival, and the Mexican Day of the Dead. Now that you have learned this lesson, what is your understanding of death? How do you feel about it? How can you make your own life more meaningful before death? How can you make your existence meaningful to other people? I am excited to listen to your answers to these questions. Thank you very much for watching, and please consider subscribing.